12 o'clock. It's a beautiful Tuesday here in the state of Alabama, here in Homewood. We're at Social Taco in the square next to City Hall. Landrum, Pat, Conrad, and Molly as well. It's been a very busy first half of the show. We talked to Gerald Watkins, Friends Rookwood, Sonny DeShera about a great event in the Home Run Derby coming up. Mike Griffith, he always stirs the pot, and boy, did he stir it today from DogNation.com and the AJC, talking SEC football. Ronnie Sanders talking Auburn specifically. Any portion of the show that you missed, you can find it there at the Three Man Front podcast at JocksFM.com. Another special guest joining us. We referenced him when Sonny was on with us, and it's the head baseball coach of the UAB Blazers, Casey Dunn. Coach, how are you?
Man, I'm great, man. Appreciate you having me on.
Appreciate you. You know that Sonny was joining us. Tell quickly how Sonny got to Samford when you were there, because you recruited him to play for you.
Him and my cousin actually were the same age. So I literally watched Sonny from, I guess, probably 8 years old all the way up. And he was just the guy that always hit. You know, it didn't matter if he was 8, if he was 14. Didn't matter what team he played on, what tournament he played in, the kid just always got hit. So when he got to high school, it was easy for us to try to make that pitch. And we were fortunate enough that because of the relationship and the opportunity, we were able to land him there. And, obviously when I left Samford, he probably should owe me for leaving, because I don't think he would have left had I not left. So when I left, he went to Auburn, and obviously, being SEC Player of the Year and the doors that has opened for him and will open for him in the future is obviously massive.
He said no to Banana Bowl. I mean, he didn't say no.
We're not giving up hope on that yet. I'll be honest with you. I think it's too good of a fit.
It's great.
He doesn't know it, but I've already talked to Coach Thompson down there, and when they come this fall, I hope Butch does a good job of pushing that a little bit more, because it's needed. I mean, I hope your listeners get on board. We need to, they're all about social media presence. So just just load up on Banana Ball and see if we can't get Sonny on one of those new teams.
I love this, Coach.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: if Savannah Ball had been around when you were playing, would that have interested you? If the
I'll be honest with you, Pat,
ranks,
I was probably as far away from the Banana Ball experience as anybody. As much of a great fit as Sonny would be, I'd probably be the worst. Dancing, stuff like that. Like, I wouldn't do that in a room by myself, much less in public. So to this day, I think that's probably the worst I've ever done, was having to dance at my wedding. Thankfully, my wife cut the first dance short because she knew how miserable I was.
Casey Dunn, head baseball coach, UAB, joining us here at Social Taco in Homewood. Well, at least there's good news. Transfer portal, NIL, all of that is settled down at the collegiate level.
Yeah, man, it's awesome, isn't it? I mean, that's the thing, man. If you want to take a whole show one day, I can tell you how to get stuck and get the bad end of the transfer portal. I can lead a discussion on that one, but no, it's crazy, man. And you watch the stuff that these coaches deal with in the SEC, and I know how it involves us. At our level, kind of the mid-tier, I can't imagine what those guys do. And it's all about who has the money, and, you can't build depth anymore. You're seeing it all over college football, even in the SEC. You can't build depth because that backup's going to make a couple $100,000 somewhere else now. So it's a weird world, man. And, you got coaches coming and going now. I think you'll see more and more of the old guard kind of just go ahead and walking away. I think you'll see it. And, even the James Franks of the world, I'm sure, money will bring him back. But, I'd love to know his real thoughts on this thing. I'd take $48 million and head to the lake and be a happy man, to be honest with you. I wouldn't get back in it. My contract ain't quite that lucrative, but I think you could take a zero off, and I'd still go to the lake and call it a career. But that guy's got the best job in the country right now, man.
Yeah, he does.
That's literally, he got the best job in America right now. But,
so Coach, I do want to ask you, when you talk to your peers across college baseball, and we talk to college football coaches all the time, and they're just beating their head up against the wall. And like you said, it is worse for you guys on the baseball circuit. What are you guys talking about in regards to, is there anybody trying to lead the charge to try to make these changes so that you guys have those safeguards?
I mean, in our world, we're just at the discretion of what football and basketball does. That's just the reality. College athletics is run by those two programs because they're the two that bring in the most revenue. Baseball is a growing sport. It's solidly the third financially due to what happens in Omaha every year. And, really for the NCAA, it's the second because, they don't get the bowl series money or whatever. So, while it is growing and everyone has their opinion, you're still at the mercy of football and basketball. And now with the rev share and, only certain percentages being able to allocate toward baseball, that's what's going to get interesting, because now schools aren't on the same footing. Which school is going to take some of that money and not give it to football or basketball to share with the baseball team. And you see that within our state. You see it within the SEC even. It's not equal, and there's a big disparity between what those schools are dealing with now than probably ever before. And it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out from here.
We hear a lot about tampering. How prevalent is that? And is there any realistic way?
I mean, I would say tampering doesn't exist, because it's just screenshots of text messages to players. Hey, if you go in the portal, I got you this. One of our pitchers last year, his high school coach sent me a message. Hey, if he'll go in, a kid named Colin Daniels, our best guy, who's drafted by the Braves and signed. But somebody texts his high school coach, hey, if he'll go in the portal, I got $200,000. He's policing it, and and so it's out in the open. I spent over a week up in the Cape this summer, trying to watch some kids that were in the portal, and there's a lot of other coaches up there who weren't watching the ones in the portal, but were watching guys playing to see who they wanted to tell to go in the portal.
Wow. And the coaches are.
I would tell you within our league, it's not bad within our league.
Right.
I think schools within our league.
It's almost like the football situation where you'll have powerful
to afford to be in the SEC in terms of what they're giving away in baseball. Big Ten wise, I doubt. I mean, I'd be surprised if any of them are spending what schools down here spend. Even you take an Alabama that's probably in the bottom third, I would guess, of the SEC in terms of the NIL or rev share they have to give. It's still more than people up north. So, good example, we scrimmaged Georgia Tech the other day. They had an All-American from Cal last year as their second baseman who, left Cal because money doesn't exist on the West Coast. I've had a lot of coaches tell me they're going west to recruit because there's no competition financially because those schools don't pay it. So, they can go out west and get a kid for $50,000. It may cost them $200 here down south. But, the kid from Cal that's at Tech, really good player, lead off for him. Georgia Tech's probably a top 10 program in the country preseason. They had to outbid a lot of other people since we played them. I've had several schools this weekend. There's a big recruiting event that I was at, and everybody's asking, well, how was he? Man, they outbid us on him. We wanted him. So again, it exists, but the schools that have money, they take them from wherever. And it's you're going to see some really quality rosters on the high end. Again, the depth's not there because you can't spread your money out 34 ways, but you're going to see some people with some pretty high-end rosters.
I'm just curious, how did this scrimmage go?
Terrible, man. Went really, really poorly. I looked up, and, I'm looking at my lineup, and I have one guy that's played every day on a field, another guy who's played about half the time, and then the rest are freshmen, sophomores, or transfers that have never been on a Division I field. And we're playing a team that's probably a top 10 team. They got arguably 3 first-rounders in the heart of their order, and, I'm running out some young pups on the mound, and so it did not go well. So we've got told our guys we had 2 weeks. We got Florida State in a couple weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't do a very good job of easing into this thing. I told them we got 2 top 10 teams in the fall, and then, we just open up our season in February against the Gators in Florida. So the old ball coach didn't do a very good job.
What are you doing?
Man, I don't know. I told our guys we lost the other night on one call, kind of like Auburn loses football games on one call.
There you go.
The difference is the call was when I called their coach asking if we could come play. But no, it wasn't good. But it was good for our guys to get out there and see it. I think especially our young guys to see that, man, it's not that big of a gap. And I think, that's the biggest thing you try to tell kids when you play against those quality teams, that caliber team, and you don't play well, to sit back and look and see, man, like, it's really not that big of a gap, though. Like, so Georgia Tech's got 3 first-rounders. Yeah. But, when we executed pitches on the mound, they still got out. When we did it, Drew Burst, who's going to be, one of the top 10 picks overall, he had 2 home runs. And you see why he's going to be one of the top 10 picks. But, 3 other at-bats, man, we executed and he got himself out. So, just allowing those guys to see that they're not as far off as they think they are, and hopefully some of these young kids will grow up before February.
So, Coach, how do you balance from, like, going and getting in front of those bigger programs, because you do want to test your kids. You want to see a barometer of what you have going into a season, but now you're exposing those kids to these other programs that got a lot more money than you do.
Pat, I'll be honest with you, man. There's people at our level that refuse to play those schools anymore. That just won't do it, and for the sole reason of, them taking them. We laugh, and there was no tampering, nothing illegal. So I'll tell a story that really isn't nothing wrong with it. But our third baseman last year is at Auburn this year. We're playing him last spring. He had a home run, which led to us winning the game. And my pitching coach looks at me and was like, well, I guess we know where he's going to be next year. and dang it, sure enough, that's where he's at.
It's up at Auburn.
Yeah, and it wasn't, nothing dirty or anything like that about it. But it turned out that way. He had a home run to beat him, and, he goes in the portal and they take him. But, so there's a lot of truth to that, man. There really is. And the good thing for us, I hope moving forward, is we had 3 players off our roster drafted last year. All 3 came to us out of high school. All 3 developed within our program, and they were drafted. We had 5 kids that were draft eligible who left our program in the SEC. Not a single one of them was drafted, including a catcher who started over my guy, left, played 2 years at Georgia. Our kid played 2 more years with us, was drafted and signed as a junior. The other kid was a senior, and he's looking for a job. So I hope that our guys will see that just because we leave, we go to a higher level, doesn't really mean we're going to get to our dream. The kid I told you, Colin Daniel, after his sophomore year, he could have left and made way more money and made with us. And great kid, good relationship met with him. Colin, if you're going to leave, man, I need you to tell me so I can go find somebody. I don't need you to screw me and leave 2 months from now. Coach, I'm going nowhere. I want to be drafted. That's the goal. This is the best place for that to happen. And knock on wood, thankfully, he stayed, and he had a great year, and he was drafted. Yeah. And, and that's what we need to happen. That's what other programs like UAB need to happen, is we need to have the success of that kid that comes into the program, develops like they're supposed to, gets their opportunity at professional baseball, and then maybe you can hold on to them. And, hopefully, as we've got some really talented young kids now that, in a couple years, hopefully they have the opportunity to leave or to stay. Yeah. And if they can buy into what we're doing and stay, and we can get them to pro ball, then that's going to be the best thing for them and for us as a program.
We're being joined by Casey Dunn here at Social Taco, head baseball coach of the UAB Blazers. We did all of that to set up the plight, so we would pull on the heartstrings and the purse strings of our great Jocks listeners. You guys have the Blazer Open, a pickleball tournament. It's a fundraiser for the program. It's going to be at the Pickler, which I was on a date night with my wife, and we just checked it out because we like to play pickleball. Yeah. That is a really, really cool facility. So
have you signed up for the tournament then
Not
as a pickleball player?
But I will do it. I will sign up for the tournament.
Again, I don't know what your level is.
Oh, wait a minute. It's 1st through the 2nd.
Yes, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, I'm going to be in Connecticut.
That's weak, Landon.
Well, UAB plays UConn.
That's weak.
Well, what if I find 2 people?
What if you play Sunday?
Can I just donate?
Sunday is mixed doubles day.
Mixed doubles.
That's good.
Okay, Sunday.
Mixed doubles Sunday.
Okay, Sunday. We will play.
Myself and my daughter are playing on Sunday in the mixed doubles.
Will we be able to play against you guys?
Well, I mean, if you enter the lowest level, because I assure you that's the level I'll be playing in.
That is the level we will enter.
No, he's elite, Coach.
Is he elite? So we need to bump up that rating.
He goes to people's houses that have pickleball courts and he plays.
You actually know one of those
Landrum,
people.
We know.
He's a big donor.
Landrum lives in a different realm.
Oh, yes, he does.
He's a different stratosphere.
Yes,
now, I may or may not have a pickleball court at my lake house, but I consider it redneck construction. If you saw pictures, it is a redneck pickleball court.
That's what I'm talking about.
But it is in Winston County, and I think it's probably the finest pickleball court in Winston County.
There you go.
But I may or may not have one up there for us to play on. But no, the pickleball, man, it's we want to do something to try to generate some revenue for Rev Share for our kids, and everybody seems to do a golf tournament, so I was like, man, let's try something different. Patrick, partnered with Patrick and those guys at the Pickler over there in Vestavia, which if you've been there, man, it's an awesome facility. Takes the weather out of the equation. It's 10, awesome courts, and we've had some generous donors, fund money for prize money. So, be the highest payout purse in the state of Alabama for a pickleball tournament. And not just in the open division for the people that are really good, but even all the way down to the 3-0 division, you're going to win some money.
Well, I want you to know.
So, Landrum, if you and your wife are the champions,
when we win, we're going to donate
it
it back to the program. How about that?
I mean, I'll take it.
But I want a big check. I want a big check with a photo op.
I'm all about it, man. I'm all about it. I will get you a big check if I see your name on the registration list.
She played college tennis. I'm just saying. I got.
All right, well, that's a ringer.
It's a start.
My daughter was not a college tennis player, but she was a pretty good tennis player.
My wife is. If she's listening right now, she is like, "Shut up, Landrum. Shut up."
Well, I mean, that's big time, though. I mean, because I consider myself a high-level ping pong player back in the day. But when you had to start running, my paddle skills don't get quite as good on the move. If I can stand still, I think I'm pretty good, though.
Well, that's like me shooting a basketball. You get me to run up and down the court, my accuracy starts to wane a little bit.
That's the thing. I'm a great set shooter too. I agree with you there. But now it's going to be good, man. I think we've got some good corporate sponsors who have stepped up to help us put this on, and then like I said, I think the sign-ups have gone well. It's been a good last couple weeks, but there's still room coming. There's still plenty of room for people to sign up, whether it's the entry level, the 3-0 division for beginners, all the way up to the open division for pros. And it's an opportunity to win money and support UAB baseball at the same time.
One thing I did want to ask you, the Braves, they got a manager spot open. Saw down in Auburn, you had Brian Snitker, you had David Ross, a guy that you know very well.
I'm all about David Ross as manager of the Braves because I'd have a pretty good hookup then,
You think like I do?
Yeah, I feel pretty confident I could get me some good tickets if he's running the show. But, no, man, I know he's interested. We talked, it's been a little while ago, and just about, if he wanted to get back in. And it's like, man, Atlanta would be pretty cool. And so I don't know if there's anything serious about it. I haven't talked to him in a while, but his kids are getting older. That was one of the reasons why he really hasn't got back in after the Cubs deal is, his daughter and son. But his son, I think, is a junior, senior in high school. His daughter's a freshman, plays volleyball actually at UNA in our state. So, but yeah, that'd be pretty neat if he could end up over there.
What is the difference in being a head coach of a college baseball team to being a manager of a professional team?
It's night and day, man. It's a whole different element. When you think about college baseball as a 56-game season versus a 162-game season, the importance of each game in the college game is real. Like games matter. In the pro game, it's 162 of them, man. So when you talk about just the intensity level, the way you prepare, the way you treat each game, it's just different. There are days, and you'll see it in the big leagues where you don't want to say guys don't try, but when you look at who they pitch, how they do their rotation, when they rest guys, there are days where you look at it and say, oh, man, like them giving so-and-so a day off is more important than winning that game.
Yeah.
In college, you don't really see that. If you're a dude, man, you're going to be in there 56 games. And I think that's the challenging thing, too, is in the pro side, you're every day. College, you're 4 days a week. So, understanding how to manage the workload, being able to kind of calm emotions, calm intensity. The pro game is, some people would say it's more laid back. It's just more controlled because they have to do it over such a longer period of time. So, it's a different element, especially in the big leagues now with the analytic focus and what's going on. I mean, the manager, man, he ain't calling a lot of the shots, man. There's a guy in the back watching a computer screen that's calling a lot of what happens in terms of matchups, whether it's pinch hitters, bullpen changes, what have you. I mean, the analytic room, we actually have one of my former players from Sanford is the head analytics guy with the Cardinals now. He's in the big league dugout in uniform. And, Pat, you a Cardinals guy? Pat, we got a Birmingham guy that's high up with him now. John Carroll guy, Rob Serfolio. I don't know if you know Rob, but he just got over there this year. Which is
Heim Bloom, who's taken over.
Yeah, so he brought Rob over, so it's made me a Cardinals fan again. Because, I've
welcome
always
aboard.
He was about to take a shot at the analytics, but then he was going to be nice.
Yeah, well, like I said, their analytics guy is a Sanford guy, played for me. So we got to be careful on that one now, Pat. It's year one. We got to give him a chance.
Oh, absolutely.
Give him a chance. Give him a chance.
No, we're good. Now that I know we really got a good connection for tickets.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we can't do a lot, but I can help you out there, probably, Pat. I'm trying to get my daughter an internship right now, though, so that's more important than your tickets.
I understand.
But like I said, talking to Matt just about stuff and, how much he actually has. I was like, man, what is your role? And he started telling me, he's like, man, Matthew, you're more important than I thought you were, man. But, a lot of those decisions are made off of a computer now with matchups and different things and, who the front office tells you to play because they're worried about contracts and different things. It's a crazy world, but it's been fun, man. I've enjoyed this postseason. I haven't watched as much as I would like to, but There's been some close games, some interesting matchups, some interesting decisions, and
Yep.
we'll see what happens. I've never been to Seattle. It's one of the 3 parks I haven't been to, so there's a good chance if they make the series. Me and my son checked that one off the list. Pretty good.
Been there, yeah. Tailgated there in the outfield at Safeco before
Really?
we went to the Seahawks game.
Okay.
But, yeah, it's a really cool stadium.
Yeah, like I said, there's if they make the series, there's a chance I make a trip.
Casey Dunn, UAB baseball. You got the Blazer Open pickleball tournament. It's coming up November 1st to the 2nd. You can do either day or both days.
Yeah, Saturday is men's doubles and women's doubles. Sunday is mixed.
Okay.
So all doubles for the whole event. Like I said, men's and women's will be Saturday. Mixed doubles on Sunday for all levels.
This is a great guy from a great baseball
and
family.
And a chance to play against Landrum Roberts on Sunday.
And a worthy cause to, absolutely demoralize me on the pickleball court. Casey, we always appreciate the time, brother. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Casey.
Appreciate it.
Casey Dunn, UAB head baseball coach, joining us once again. You can go to uabsports.com to learn more, but it's the Blazer Open pickleball tournament coming up November 1st and 2nd at the Pickler. And you can check it out more at uabsports.com. We continue. We're live from Social Taco. Very busy Tuesday as we continue.
It's 12:25, man. We thank everybody for stopping by. Gerald Watkins from Rickwood. You just heard from Casey Dunn, the head baseball coach of the UAB Blazers. Ronnie Sanders, the publisher of Auburn Undercover. He was on in hour number 1. And, of course, we're still getting text messages about Mike Griffith's appearance. If you missed that interview, you need to go back and download the Three Man Front podcast because you will not be disappointed. Yeah, you might get a little irritated, might get ticked off, depending on what fan base you're a fan of. But Mike Griffith every Tuesday here on Three Man Front. Peter Rauterkus, who covers the Auburn Tigers for AL.com, he's going to join the program coming up in about 5 minutes from now. He had a sit-down with John Cohen, who is the athletics director at Auburn University. So we'll get Peter's impressions of his sit-down. Dimitri Ravanos from SEC Unfiltered, he will be on the show coming up at 1 o'clock. So a very jam-packed show, but we always appreciate those that give us a call at 1-800-239-WJOX. Also, the Courtesy GMC text line, 205-834-9450. As the weather turns, now's the time to get your mowers and tractors serviced for the end of the season, and Artec Tractor is the place to do it. They're your certified Mahindra servicing dealer, and just in time for hunting season, their hunter's package includes a Mahindra 1635 with loader, trailer, bush hog, tiller, and spreader, all for $0 down and just $450 per month. Artec has a full line of tractors as well as heavy construction equipment for those big jobs just north of Jasper on Highway 5 or online at artectractor.com. So the big story over the weekend was James Franklin being shown the door by Penn State University. And a lot of rumors, a lot of names being bannered back and forth about who potentially is going to replace James Franklin. Number one on the Vegas hot board is Matt Rule, the head coach of the Nebraska Cornhuskers. You've got Kurt Cignetti at Indiana. Eli Drinkowitz from the University of Missouri, that is another name that has been brought up amongst certain circles around college football. And this morning at his press conference, Eli Drinkowitz says as far as his own name being brought up in association with other jobs, he says it's a tip of the hat to the University of Missouri. And just like most coaches do, Landrum, they tamp it down and say there's nothing to see here because I am perfectly happy in Columbia.
Where is Eli originally from?
Is he not from Arkansas?
Yes, he is, Pat.
Okay.
Bonus points if you know the town that he was born in.
Blytheville, Arkansas.
Springdale.
Alma.
Oh. Did not have that on my list.
Alma.
Definitely couldn't point that one out on a map for you.
Okay.
Not sure where Alma is.
Would you leave Missouri for Penn State?
Me? No.
If you were Eli Drinkowitz, would you leave Missouri for Penn State? I don't know if I would.
Alma is 40 minutes from Fayetteville by Fort Smith.
It's in the Ozarks.
Yeah.
I've never been to Penn State, so it's not fair. I know Penn State fans love it.
So why isn't Eli's name being mentioned for Arkansas?
They don't think they can get it.
I mean, don't you think that's Rhett's job?
If he wanted it. But Rhett, I think now with revenue share and what some of these coaches are making at particular places, there's not that much difference in money. Then it comes down to quality of life, doesn't it? And path of least resistance, I don't know. He's got it going in Como right now.
He does.
They're paying him plenty of money.
But
and
you
if
also
he keeps winning games, they're going to pay him more money.
You have to also consider the fact that he is an Arkansas kid.
Yeah.
And is that one of the aspirations he had as a young person once he got into coaching?
Right. I always dreamed of being the head coach of the Hogs.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
When we come back, we will talk to the individual, Peter Rauterkus, who covers the Auburn Tigers. He sat down with the Auburn athletics director yesterday in a very interesting conversation about the future of Hugh Freeze and how John Cohen looks at that job and the criteria of potentially making a coaching change. All that's next on Three Man Front. Welcome back to Jocks. This is Three Man Front statewide. Thanks for tuning us in. Thanks for watching us on YouTube each and every day. Appreciate that very much. Audience numbers continue to increase every day, and that's thanks to you, so we appreciate that immensely. Joining us now on the Higginbotham Hotline from AL.com, he covers the Auburn Tigers. Peter Rauterkus joins us now, just fresh off the practice field not too long ago. So before we talk about John Cohen, I just want to get your impressions from this morning's practice, and could you tell the body language or anything from this football team in regards to getting back on practice after that tough loss on Saturday?
I'd say by and large, things look pretty normal. You know, we got to watch practice, watched it about 45 minutes to an hour, but then we got to talk to players after practice. And, yeah, I mean, you know, everybody was kind of saying the right things, doing the right things. You know, obviously, Damari Alston's departure got brought up, and, you know, players, you know, kind of were echoing the sentiment of like, oh, you know, we still love him, you know, that's our guy, but, you know, it is what it is, and we got to move on. And so, you know, everyone said the right things, but I think we won't really get the answer as to what the response is in the game on Saturday.
You've covered Hugh Freeze. Yesterday, it seemed like a Hugh Freeze that kind of went on the attack and took some of those questions that were asked by the media pool personally. How much has his demeanor changed where it is now versus maybe where it was a few weeks ago?
I mean, I think he definitely feels the pressure a little bit, and I mean, I think that's building with each press conference and the type of questions he's getting. And you know, I think he's in defense mode a little bit. I think he still believes that, you know, this team is close. This team the breakthrough is there, and they just need a couple things to change, whether that's making a few more plays, whether that's a few calls going their way. And I think that's the message that he's still trying to get across. He's still trying to convince people that, you know, they can do this and he can do this at Auburn. And, you know, we'll see what happens Saturday. I think that just for people to really believe that, the results have to start changing.
In regards to John Cohen, who is the athletics director, you had an opportunity to sit down with him. I'm not asking you to be a nonverbal communications major or to try to tell me what you saw in his body language, but reading his quotes were pretty interesting. Just how that came about and what his demeanor was during the sit-down.
Yeah, I mean, we did talk over the phone, so I guess I
Okay.
can't break down the body language and all.
Sure,
that,
I understand.
You know, those cues too much. But yeah, I mean, I think it was, you know, similar to Freeze in a little bit in the sense that, you know, I think Hugh Freeze is still his guy. I think he still wants things to turn around with Hugh Freeze. I think he still wants things to get better. And, you know, I asked him point blank about, you know, what is Hugh Freeze going to be the coach next season? And, you know, he had that analogy about, you know, about his car and talked about, you know, if the car keeps breaking on enough times, then yeah, I got to evaluate the feature of my car. But that's not the expectation right now with the football team. I think in that, you know, he's just basically trying to say, like, look, like, we understand that the results are bad, and we understand that if things never improve, like, you know, things might have to happen. So he didn't want to rule out a change, but I think he's also saying, like, you know, like, in the time being, like, you know, we got to ride this out. I mean, look, the athletic director's not going to get on the phone with the beat writer and say, fire the coach tomorrow. I also don't think he's going to get on the phone with the beat writer and say, yeah, this is our guy no matter what, you know, when things are going as bad as they are. So, you know, it's hard to really take too much from his comments, in my opinion.
How much of the future, Peter, of Hugh Freeze does it lie solely with John Cohen? Or, and I think it's a fair question to ask, how many people have John Cohen's ear when it comes to influentials and folks that have given and still give a lot of money to that university and to that program?
That's a hard question to answer, but I mean, I think it is a good question to ask. You know, Hugh Freeze has been supported very well since he's been at Auburn. I mean, you look at, you know, just how the support he's received financially to be able to build these really strong rosters, especially the past 2 years. You know, I think the concern, if you're an athletic director, if you're anybody on the program, is that, you know, will those people who have been supporting the program, will there be some fatigue? Will they get tired of supporting a product that is not winning? And that's what the product has been at all for the past couple of seasons. At what point, you know, are the wins going to happen? So, I think eventually we're going to get tired of supporting a team that keeps losing, keeps having the talent to win these games, but keeps finding ways to lose. So I think the results need to turn around, or else, maybe that support does start to dwindle.
All right, so let's talk about this game coming up on Saturday and the opportunity for Auburn to get on the right side of things, get a win. But they're playing a Missouri team that until this previous weekend against Alabama, they were a team that a lot of people were predicting that could make the college football playoff. Just how do you see this game coming up, where the strengths are for this Auburn football team going up against a pretty salty defense in Missouri?
Yeah, I think it's going to be another really big challenge, especially for the offense. One thing that Georgia hasn't been known for this season is pass rush and getting after the quarterback, which is something that Auburn has struggled with. And on Saturday at Jackson, I think only got sacked once. But obviously, as we saw in the Alabama game, Missouri's got a really good pass rush. Ty Simpson was sacked 4 times, I believe. Damon Wilson and Zion really, really good pass rushers that I think are going to get after Jackson a lot on Saturday. And just look at the Oklahoma Texas A&M games. We saw Auburn struggle against teams that got after the quarterback. And a lot of that, not all that was on the offensive line. Some of that was on Jackson ball in some situations. I did think last weekend, though, that Hugh Freeze, the offensive staff, did a good job of drawing up plays to get the ball out of his hands quicker. I think they're going to have to do that against Missouri. He's got a really good defense, got a really good pass rush that I think can really disrupt Auburn.
That is Peter Rauterkus. You can follow his work there at AL.com. Peter, I know it's a busy time. We appreciate you carving out a couple of minutes for us here on Three Man Front. We look forward to our next visit, catching up.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks. That's Peter Rauterkus joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Well, Mandu in downtown Homewood, just across the way from us here at Social Taco, that is your one source for getting into shape and doing it efficiently. That's right. Mandu's electrical muscle stimulation fitness. They put you in a suit. They hook you up to a machine, sends electric pulses various parts of your body. You can specialize on different muscle groups. You want to do entire body, build up endurance, just look better, feel better. You can do it at Mandu. But the best part about Mandu, and it's all FDA approved, it's a 15-minute workout. 15 minutes, the equivalent to 6 hours in a gym. Your first visit's free. They'll put you through the workout. You mentioned Jocks, 10% off the life of your Mandu membership. If you're a student, 15% off for you guys, especially you guys with a busy schedule. 15 minutes, equivalent to 6 hours. You can't beat it. Mandu in downtown Homewood, MANDUU.com. Tell Paul and the gang that Landrum from Jocks sent you.
We will break down what Peter just told us about his sit-down with, of course, John Cohen, the athletics director at Auburn. Coming up at the top of the hour, we will talk to Dimitri Ravanos. He'll join the show.
Rav.
Dimitri.
Meet.
All the above. He'll join us coming up at the top of the hour. This is Three Man Front live from Social Taco. Thank you.
Ah, the chicken feathers just got delivered here to the table. That's my buddy Pat Smith's favorite. I love them too. That sort of dipping sauce is not just the chicken feathers that you can get, but I'm looking around at the tables. We got Mexican pizzas. We got tacos, of course, burritos. I think I saw a bowl earlier.
I did. I saw one
Someone's
too.
got a salad. You want to go with a cerveza, handcrafted cocktail. It is a beautiful Tuesday here in the state of Alabama. Join us at Social Taco in the Square in Homewood.
You know, we talk about this each and every week, but you look around this room right now. You have got UAB, you've got Mississippi State, Florida State, Tennessee, Auburn, obviously Bama, Birmingham Squadron,
Stallions.
Stallions. It's always a menagerie.
You
Can I
got our
use that
buddy
word?
Mississippi State.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, no Ole Miss.
Don has now adopted Miami. It's
Yeah,
his
he's
team for
wearing
the rest of the
a
year.
Miami Hurricanes hat. I guess he has departed the Auburn faithful now.
Well, I said, is that your team? He said, it is for the rest of the year.
Oh, wow.
So he linked up with Miami, which is interesting. Bama hater, where are you?
Think Bama Hater got him that hat?
Do you think Bama hater is really enthused that Don's going to be pulling for the same team he pulls for?
That would be no.
Wait. Let me get this right. So Don,
Yeah.
who, in my experience, the biggest Auburn fan I've ever met in my life, he has abandoned his Auburn Tigers for the Miami Hurricanes.
He's got a Miami hat that looks like it was made during the Bernie Kosar years.
Yeah, the U is like really, really big. I mean, matter of fact, it might not even be a licensed hat. You know what I'm saying?
One side of the hat's kind of caved in,
Yeah.
Conrad.
But he is wearing it, but he still is donning his 18 South Auburn.
Yeah.
Shirt.
Okay. So he hasn't totally gotten rid of it.
No.
No,
fan.
he's
No.
still an
Okay.
Auburn fan. He's just going to actively root for Miami to pretend to feel what it's like to root for a top-ranked team again.
At least for the next week or two.
Until Miami does what
That Miami
we're all
typically
expecting
does.
Miami to do.
Yeah, pretty much. Don't wait for a small problem to become a huge disaster if you're a homeowner. And I'm talking about your roof. But Abide Roofing is ready to step up and help you today. They'll come out, do a free roof inspection for you. No sales pitch, no pressure. They want to make sure your home is safe. And if the storms that we are going to get in about a week from now or a storm earlier this fall, they're going to present a bigger problem for you. They're going to work directly with your homeowner's insurance company, even the ones that can be hard to deal with. I'm firsthand experience of having an insurance company I've always been proud of, but unfortunately when my roof became a problem, the communication became an issue, and Travis Lloyd and Abide Roofing, they stepped in and they were able to get it approved. Travis and his team, they're ready to help you. 205-941-6223. Go to their website, abideroof.com. They're licensed, bonded, insured, and true pros who care about your home as much as you do. So with Abide Roofing, you'll know it's ready for whatever the weather is going to throw at you. So, again, Abide Roofing, 205-941-6223.
The Jocks text line is open. You can always interact with us, and it's been active today. A lot of reaction to Mike Griffith, what he had to tell us in his conversation, and just general college football talk. Pizza Larry, and I did hear this, he says, was the phrase, not the first time Freeze has been screwed on calls, a shot at Hughes' problems at Ole Miss. I think it was. I don't think that was by accident. This one, James Franklin has to be hired at Auburn. Would Auburn fans be happy? No. I will speak for all Auburn fans. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't think so. Got a coach who just got fired because he couldn't beat ranked teams, good teams. It's kind of what Hugh Freeze and Auburn are dealing with right now. So, no. No. We'll read
roll
this
there.
one from Auburn Chad. Auburn Chad here. People talking about Freeze being fired. Let's see how the season works out. He's still got a chance to win 7, 8 plus wins going into the season. I think 8 wins was what everybody was thinking. It's still on the table. So if now, I don't know why everyone is flipping out. Not flipping out. You're exactly right, Chad, in what you just said. He's got a chance to still do all of that. I think the disturbing trend is what you've seen from the offense, and maybe even more frustrating, is knowing that you have the talent. It's there. And you're seeing it on the defensive side of the ball, but you have a guy that is known for his offensive innovation. That's what I expected when Hugh Freeze was hired at Auburn. You're going to get somebody who's really good with the X's and O's and could draw up stuff, and offense was going to be the least of your worries. That has not been the case. Now, the offense hasn't been as bad as it's been this year in the past 2 years, but now when it seems like you have everything together and even the pieces in place, a quarterback that you handpicked to run your offense and you can't get it done and you can't figure out how to get over the hump, it's disturbing, especially when you look at the rest of the schedule. Highly disappointed in Don. You wouldn't catch me dead in the Miami hat. Hold on down. Sounded like a fence straddler. Lean to whoever is winning. Well, you want to feel like a winner. Heard the commentators during the Auburn-Georgia game say, what has Freeze done to deserve this? Zach and Huntsville says, I can think of a few. For the record, says, Don has had a Miami bumper sticker for years? Has he?
Interesting. Need to ask. Need to inquire.
Rhett Lashley to FSU as head coach with Malzahn as OC. Don is not a true Auburn fan anyway. Oh, you're getting crushed right now, Don. WDE stands for War Damn Excuses.
If you're going to put them on, put them on. Put them on. You got about 30 seconds.
This one says, Don, you look bad wearing the U.
Why are you wearing the U?
I'm still an Auburn fan.
Okay.
Don is
but
not
I
a true
need a
Auburn fan
second.
anyways.
I need an adopted team for the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
And y'all have met my buddy Miami Dave.
Do you have a Miami bumper sticker?
I do.
Why?
I got a Miami bumper sticker on the back of my car with my Auburn stuff. Y'all have met my best friend from Georgia, Miami Dave. Y'all have met him. Plus, I'm buddies with Bama Hater and everything. So I've been a Miami fan for the last 15 years, besides Auburn and UAB.
All right.
And
Well,
whoever plays Alabama.
We're out of time.